Okay. Waiting for all the tubes to connect here. Let's just see. We'll give it a minute. And then, oh, see, that's what I mean. I gotta figure these things out. And, whoop, hang on here. There it is. And that one's got to get muted. I have to, let's see, let me get that one rolling so we know what's going on here and get that muted. And we'll come up on this one here. Get that up and running. Muted. Everything is muted. Good. Beautiful. Looks like we're in there. I've got all three going. One man show today, guys. Jeff is taking it easy out there in Florida. He is doing the Tampa RV show. Ooh, looking around at all them new pretty buses and RVs and trailers. And it's a balmy 24 degrees here in southern Idaho right now. Good morning, everybody. I'm Bob K6UDA. I'll be your host for the next, I don't know, hour or so. We'll try to get through this pretty quickly. God, today this is really an interesting topic. Let me pull up my preview mode so I can go back to live and everything is there. Good. Yeah. This, my friends, is a topic that I have been kind of near and dear to my heart. Getting kind of covert, getting into the spirit of the surveillance state. Woo. I don't know. Hey, what's been happening in your worlds? Sound off in the chats. I've got the big chat screens, the net screens coming up here in the middle. My YSF server. And so that's everything on the YSF side. As you could see, if I come over here and wow, I can click the mic and good morning, everybody. K6UDA, just a pre-net check. All right. And what else? On the right side of the screen that you see there is the Rumble chat. On the left side of the screen is the YouTube chat, because yes, we are on YouTube.
So here's on YSF. This is KM008Q.
All right, Sean, thanks. And we'll talk to you in a few. K6UDA. All right. I think I gotta turn that one up so I can hear it. What else do I need to adjust here? I don't know. Let me turn that one. We'll turn that up just a little bit over there as the backup plan. What else? What are we talking about today? Man, Covert communications, and I'm kind of diving deeper into this. Been looking at the surveillance state, guys. It is, they look at every single thing that we're doing. Our digital footprint is kind of crazy, and it's time now, for me at least, to start. I'm not even going to say unplug, because in doing my research, if you just pull the pin, turn off your phone, or hide it and never show it, and don't use it, and you don't do the normal things that you've been doing, that in and of itself is a red flag, and it shows those red flags. Looks like we've got one whole person. It's probably me in the chat, or in on yeah, looks okay. We got 18 people on Rumble. Thank you, guys. We have not very many, and let's see. Yeah, we've got almost nothing over there. But hey, that's why I start this early, so I could get all this stuff figured out before the net. So like I said, today we are talking about communications, covert communications, and not just radio communications. This is like kind of getting serious. We have seen in our day here, the left has been fairly successfully using covert communications. They're using, they started out using Twitter to say, hey, we're meeting over at this place and we're doing all this. Well, that was great for them. Let's see. Good morning from Michigan, from John. Good morning. That was great for them back in the Biden era, when they had a completely complicit government that loved the fact that they would be able to get out there and do things like that. And they really didn't need to. That kind of came about in the first Trump era. But now, federal law enforcement is on to them. I believe it's just a matter of time before President Trump institutes the Insurrection Act against them. Their communications have been getting more and more covert, more and more secure as time goes along. They've been learning. They have definitely been learning along the way, and I imagine that they are doing a lot of the stuff we're going to be talking about today. Why is that important for us? Because I see a normalization of tactics by the government, which very well could be used against we the people, or the normies at some point. And I would rather be ahead of that curve than behind it, saying, oh, the government is on our side. They're for us, because the government does not give a crap about we the people. left or right. All they care about is retaining power, using their power. Maybe not the foot soldiers on the street so much, but government as a whole. If you guys haven't figured that out, that they're not on our side, you need to do a little bit of self-reflection. Let's see. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about hiding your communications. We'll talk about reducing your everyday signature now before you need it. We're gonna talk. The overarching thing is hiding critical communications so that it isn't even, if it didn't exist, versus encrypting it so you could see that there was something there, but you can't readily read it or understand it. If it isn't there in the first place, it doesn't exist. That's the best way to have covert communications. How the one-time pad works. I'm trying to do a little bit of a deep dive. And we'll talk about the one-time pad. If you guys haven't heard about it, that's a real interesting one. We'll talk about some other apps and things that you can use. And then we will, because we are kind of a ham radio group here, we're going to talk a little bit more about low profile radio, Meshtastic, ham radio, GMRS, using the best tool for the job, and how to set up the best tool for the job. So anyway, let's get rid of all that and come back to here. We'll bring back the net screen here, as I call it. I call this the net screen. And if you haven't, if you're new here, if you're new to watching this, say on Team Replay, in the middle of the screen, this is one of my open spots. It is permanently tuned in to my repeater, and it transmits radio traffic from a device like the open spot or a regular radio, two-way radio, and brings it into the repeater. It also converts it into digital and puts it out over the YSF network. And we are on the YSF network. This screen there kind of contains everything. Then I've got my chats over here. And I have ADL, one-time pad generator, thermal printer. Holy crap. Charlie, you are going to have to tell us about that. Where do you get them? How do you set them up? What is it? That is fascinating. That is really, really freaking cool. Let's see. Sarah Slim in the house. Terry, my buddy Terry. And actually, Jeff will not be in the house today. Jeff is currently at the Tampa RV show. I guess it's a big giant RV show. Gee, in Florida. How nice. And Jeff is, I don't know, being a looky-loo there or shopping. Who knows? He might actually come home with something. I know it's kind of hard to Kind of hard to give that up. Terry, if you want to jump in, you are more than welcome. And then we could banter back and forth and have a great time. What else? Oh, it's time to go. And once again, I am going to use the Shark mic. And make sure that I've got everything. Yep, I do. Good morning and welcome to the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. I'm Bob, K6UDA, your net control this morning. This net meets every Saturday morning at 0900 hours Mountain Time on the K6UDA repeater located deep within the Southern Idaho Command in Twin Falls, Idaho. This is a digital radio net accessible via Wires X Room 40448 and YSF Reflector 40448, both known as the Idaho Command. It's also available on the Hanson Butte 2-meter Fusion Repeater 145.170, and local hams with analog radios can also participate using the KB7 DFP repeater 442.000. I'm going to let it drop. The purpose of this net is the free exchange of information related to emergency preparedness, commonly known as prepping. We encourage deep dives into subjects related to food, water, shelter, personal protection, weapons, survival tactics, medical issues, communication gear, and techniques. I'm always looking for subject matter experts to lead discussions on all these subjects. If you have material you'd like to present or discuss, when you check in, please indicate that you have a subject. Although not primarily political, discussion of relevant political, cultural, or religious events are welcome in the context of situational awareness and survival. As part of my personal preparedness plan, practicing for gathering and dissemination of important news and information to my friends, family, and the local community is what this whole net is all about. So as training, we do the sit rep or situation reports every week. While times are good, like right now, I'm using general news stories that I find interesting. I ask everyone here to contribute their own stories or sit reps, especially if they are in or near an affected area of an actual emergency. I'll let it drop. In order to give everyone an opportunity to be heard, I'm going to do check-ins and comments in the following order. We're going to do local repeater check-ins, Wires X, YSF, then live stream comments, if there are any. You're encouraged to check in with your first name, call sign, location, and how you're getting into the net, i.e. the local repeater, Wires X, or YSF. That being said, do we have any local repeater check-ins?
This is Kilo Bravo 7 Delta Foxtrot Papa KB7 DFT Ken and Twin Falls 442. No traffic.
All right, good morning, Ken. Copy, no traffic, and thanks again for carrying this on your repeater and letting everybody in the Magic Valley participate. Do we have any other local repeater check-ins? Local repeaters, come now. Okay. All right, let's move on to Wires X check-ins. Wires X. Anybody on any node on Wires X directly? Come now. All right. How about YSF? YSF check-ins come now.
Kilo Foxtrot Zero, Oscar Hotel Uniform. This is Sean in Minnesota.
All right, I copied Sean, KF0HU in Minnesota. Do you have any traffic for us, or any sit reps from your end of the world?
Well, this is Minnesota, so they say plenty of us about news about us. For me here locally, I think the big things they have going on is all the schools went back into COVID lockdown mode due to the ICE presence here. We have schools starting here at the U of M on Tuesday and this week and yesterday. I know we had a lot of work to do to get all these teachers so they can present their classes via WebEx and other digital media, so people don't have to show up for classes now. They can do it from home if they're afraid to come in or leave their house. So we have a lot of COVID protocols that are getting reenacted for ICE right now. KF0 OHU, back to Matt.
Wow, that's interesting. Very, very interesting. Hey, thank you for that, Sean. And yeah, keep us advised of things that are going on out that way, because that's what happens, and they move that across the country. Let's see. I saw N7RBP in the window there, in the status window. Bob, why don't you go ahead and take a turn? K6UDA.
Alrighty then, N7RB and a P here in Medford, Oregon. Good morning to the net, and look forward to some lively conversation. No traffic on this end. 73.
All right, Bob. Thanks for checking in from the Medford area. Let's see. We're looking for check-ins. Check-ins, any mode, anywhere. You're encouraged to check in now. Come now. Okay. Well, that makes it pretty quick. I'm gonna move over to. Yep. I'm gonna move over here. Let it drop for a second. I'm gonna change screens. Well, no, actually, I'm not. I'm gonna move into my sit rep section now. And let's see. First up, a federal judge had just ruled the feds in Minneapolis immigration operation cannot detain or tear gas peaceful protesters. Now, I guess this really depends upon your definition of peaceful protesters. Operation Metro Surge could be affected as federal government attorneys argue that pepper spray was needed to quell violent, obstructive, and dangerous, often criminal behavior. It is an 83-page order. It is. I don't know exactly what it says because I haven't read the order, and I don't care to read the order really. But it has always been illegal for the government to interfere with peaceful protests. And that's the operative word there, is peaceful. Let's see. Moving on. All right, in other news from oh man, what is that? Hang on here. Nothing is working. Okay, let's see. Out of California, a guy named Carl DeMaio. He's running for governor over there, or he's running for something over there. I guess there's a new push in California to institute a mileage tax on top of all the gas taxes that they have there. And this guy Carl DeMaio, who I've seen some of his videos, he is he's saying that this would cost the average Californian $900 a year in extra mileage tax out there. Kind of crazy from a place that says that they are that they're for the people. Gold prices in the news. Let's see. I'm gonna let it drop. All right, we had N8RQT said he tried to get in to check in. N8RQT, do you want to try again one more time? Not seeing him. Oh, there it is.
Okay, I am trying my RF Shark M1KE. So it appears that I'm getting in on it. From Cincinnati, Ohio, I'm the one who put the note in there on the one-time dead generator. I have more info. I put it up there, but if you have any questions or what have you, I can answer. N8RQT.
Beautiful. Hey, thank you. And yeah, when we get into that, maybe I will ask you, and you could jump on the mic and talk to us about it, about that device. Let's see. Gold and silver prices hitting all-time highs. I've got a chart here from between 2024 and 2026. Let's see, back in 2024, a little over a year ago, gold prices were at 23.38, silver prices at 27.88 as of the 15th, 2 days ago. Gold prices $4,600, 46.16. Silver prices 92, and I think it's a little bit down today. But man, that is crazy. And if that doesn't tell you our economy is in a spiral, I don't know what will. Okay, let's see. Oh, the DOJ from the Department of Justice, the ban on mailing concealable firearms is unconstitutional and cannot be enforced. Let's see. On February 15th, the opinion in a opinion declared about Title 18 USC 1715 is unconstitutional, concluding it fails the Supreme Court's historical test for Second Amendment limits. Shreve versus the U.S. Postal Service, filed by Gun Owners of America. Anyway, that law that says you cannot mail a handgun in the U.S. mail. It has been ruled unconstitutional. So now we will be able to mail handguns. Why is that important? Because, oh, you know what? If you need to send your handgun into a manufacturer to get repaired, or you want to send it into a gunsmith to get fixed, repaired, or modified, you can now do that. And we're gonna Terry's joining us, and good morning, Terry.
Good morning. How are you?
I am great. Okay, I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get back on the mic here. Yeah, I'm doing good. Terry's gonna be in for at least part of the show today. Once we get through this, do we have any other check-ins for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net? Come now.
N7 VKH John Kimberly Lake again. Why? No traffic.
Have any other? All right, I caught John N7VKH from Kimberly, local guy here, and I caught no traffic, and then I see KB9UPY in the box. You're up. Take one.
Well, I don't have too much to say there. I put a little thing in the chat there, but Illinois is trying to do the same thing as California with the mileage tax. Other than that, that's all I have, keeping it in UPY. Otherwise, no traffic.
All right. John, thank you. Thanks for that. Do we have any other check-ins for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net? Come now. Okay, hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and end the radio portion of the net. I want to thank all of the... Whoa. Wow, it looks like all the... something happened to Wires X there. All the nodes in Wires X, there was a whole handful, and all of them kind of blew out. So something might have happened to Wires X today, and I didn't see it. And I apologize to all the Wires X nodes. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the radio portion of the net. I want to thank all of the stations for tuning in, for being part of the net, checking in. I invite more people to check in on the net so we could pass news and information and keep making this a nice place to visit for solid news and information. This is K6 UDA ending the net and returning all the stations to their normal operations. 7-3. Okay. So now, Terry, how you doing?
Doing good. Didn't sleep well last night, so kind of got up late and messed up.
Oh,
So I thought I'd jump in.
okay.
Jeff wasn't there.
Yep. Let me go ahead and fix up me. Let me jump over here and whoop. I'm going to fix up your deal. I got to jump into Uno here, go to my overlays, and Come in here to all Idaho. Nope. And names. Okay, good. Now we could jump over to a net screen here and continue on. Well, oh, everything got to get in there. All right. Beautiful. Let me do that. Camera. Good. Everything's off. Beautiful. All right. Welcome everybody to the main meat of the show here. I'm going to number one. I'm going to pull this up. Late, but made it. Okay, I've got chats up on screen number one. I gotta just look over there. I've got to get everything else set up here. And whoa, what happened? Why does that do that? Okay, good. All right, now we've got all that set up. Terry, I did not, wasn't able to send you my
Outline.
the
Your
outline for today.
Yeah.
But anyway, today we are talking about tactical covert communications in a surveillance state. So, like I said before the radio portion of the net started, we're going to talk about, and let me just run over there and I'll put this back up. I don't need a lower third. We're going to talk about reducing your signature. We're going to talk about the existence, masking the existence of communication versus the content of the communication. The one-time pad, how it works. We're going to do a mild deep dive because I'm not 100% sure how it works, and I've never used it. I will say that I've never used it in practice. And then low profile radio, which a lot of us will kind of really get into. So, with that, let's go back to our two shot over here and reducing your signature. Before you really need to do something, it's a good idea to reduce your digital signature. The digital, behavioral, and physical traces that make you detectable or trackable in a surveillance-heavy electronic state. That's exactly where we're at. Why am I hearing... Oh, that must be you. I'm hearing backfeed from your feedback from you, Terry.
I don't have anything on.
You don't have any headphones or anything, do you? You could plug in. See, that would take care of all that because I'm hearing myself coming back through your input.
Well, I have my phone on in order to read the mail, but there's no volume whatsoever. Would that still come back?
I don't know. I was hearing it. I thought I was hearing it, but maybe I'm not. Maybe it was my imagination. Anyway, it's basically hiding in plain sight. The goal is to blend in, become the gray man, blend into the crowd. You don't stand out. You want to randomize patterns. You use deniability. You want to focus on operational security. Habits like compartmentalization, minimalization, and anti-forensics. And we're going to kind of deep dive into those things. Cell phone mitigation. This is, and I've said this a million times. This thing is the big tracker. We've all got them. Almost, I would say 99% of the population in this country has a cell phone. That's by design, guys. They want us to keep those things and to use them and to, because it tracks us everywhere we go, everything we buy. Even if you're paying cash, if you have this on you and you walk into Albertsons or Safeway, they know you're shopping for groceries. They know you're food shopping at that point. Just because they're tracking you, they could track you and they could see your patterns. Every Thursday, you go to the market. Well, here, every Tuesday, most of us older folks over 60 go, where do we go, Terry?
Walmart or Costco?
Tuesday. On Tuesday, where do we all go? D&B.
Oh yeah. Sure.
All the seniors go to D&B because D&B on Tuesdays has senior day, 10%
Well,
off.
I'm not quite old enough to get it.
Oh, okay.
My wife is, but I'm not.
Okay. Well, so you use hers.
I
I
hear her
get it.
yelling back there at me. She's watching you on TV.
Oh, interesting. So anyway, it will track your habits. It'll track even. So one of the big things you could do, you can use airplane mode most of the time when you're traveling. Now, using airplane mode, you're not going to get all the little news things as you're traveling, as you're doing things. But do you really need it? I listen to Pandora when I'm driving, but I guess I could do without it. And I'm going to start really now trying to reduce my personal signature, my electronic signature. I'm looking at new Faraday bags. I've had Faraday bags in the past, but they're fairly large. I saw one that was very, very small, just roughly a little tiny bit bigger than the phone itself. That will protect that'll protect your phone and your credit cards, your RFID type credit cards from being detected or being discovered in a crowd. Let's see that using the Faraday bags will block all RF signals, including cellular, Wi-Fi, GPS, Bluetooth, without powering the device off. It will also block the little RFID chips that they put in credit cards now. So you could do the tap thing. And why is that important? Because there's number one, there's bad guys out there that are trying to steal your information so they can rob you blind. But in the bigger picture, there are government actors that are tracking all of your movements, your purchases, everything, and they can use that at a later time when and if they decide that they want to target normal people. Why would they do that? I don't know. Ask anybody in North Korea, ask people in Iran or Russia or China. Why do they do that? Because they assign social credit scores. They do all kinds of weird and crazy stuff. And it's all done to control the population. And like it or not, I think we're headed there. We're almost there right now. We are just a hair's breadth away from being there. Yeah, at the very least, airplane mode. And as a matter of fact, well, I'm at home. I don't care. It knows I'm at home. Is it listening to me? It might be right now. It could have well, yeah, because there's the Siri thing on an iPhone. So it's listening. Banner setup and compartmentalization. Anybody ever heard of a burner phone, Terry?
Yeah.
You know what a burner phone is. You buy a secondary cheap cell phone. You go to like Cricket or one of these off-brand deals. You buy like a cheap nothing phone, and you get a prepaid phone card. You do not use this phone for anything. You don't even turn it on, but you don't use it for anything, and you keep it in a Faraday bag at all times, because even when this is off, they could track you. They could still track you when it's off.
Yeah, do you remember what happened in January 6th?
Yes.
Remember, they had all these people there arresting that were outside doing nothing, and yet they were bringing charges against them, even though they never walked inside the building. But there you go,
And how did they find them?
with their phones.
Bingo. Everybody's carrying around these things, and we saw it January 6th. It's a shame that they don't have the technology to track the violent protesters that are on our streets right now.
I think they can. They just don't want to.
Right. But at some point, they might want to. Or a regime change could bring about the tracking and arrest or harassment of normal people who believe in God, Christians and Jews, people who are outspoken against against the left or against the right or against whatever government program the government wants to institute. They have the ability, and the idea is we're not going to make it easy on them. Let's move on. App hygiene. Uninstall non-essential apps. Disable background refresh, telemetry, and ad tracking. You can do that on all the three major platforms. Android, Graphene OS, and iOS, there's settings in there. Use privacy browsers like Brave or Firefox Focus. Enable disappearing messages in comms apps. Signal, the Signal app is a great example of that. I have Signal, and you can send and receive text messages. It's basically like texting, but it is, you could use these disappearing messages. So that message might disappear as soon as it's read, or it might disappear within a day or an hour or whatever you set it to. And that can help. I don't know if it can mask it completely. Hiding in plain sight tip. Act like everyone else. Again, the gray man. You dress like the crowd. You use your phone somewhat. You check your phone while you're in crowds. That's a normal thing now. If you're sitting there and you're not checking your phone, that is almost a red flag. So if you grab your phone and you check it periodically and say you've got your burner phone, your operational phone in a Faraday bag. It is completely off grid. It's not being detected. Here's what you want to avoid. You don't want this is constantly putting out it's constantly putting out a signal to 2 or 3 cell towers. That's how it triangulates you. That's how it figures out where you're at. You don't want this phone and I don't have another phone here, but you don't want this phone and this phone being seen in the same place too many times, especially if this phone is your covert phone. You almost never want them in the same place at the same time. And you don't want, and you definitely don't want to activate that secondary phone unless this one is already put away. If this one goes away and the other one comes up, that's okay. But you never ever want those two having a signal going out to cell towers at the same time, because that's a dead giveaway. Beware of apps that have servers in countries that participate in intelligence sharing, like Five Eyes. I've never heard of Five Eyes. That comes from the Shadow Bear. Let's see. Miko Wolf. In 30 seconds, message will explode. Mission Impossible. Yep. And that happened with regime change. Biden and Obama. Did any electricians arrested have anybody January 6th? I don't understand that one. All right, let's keep moving on here. Credit cards and financial tracking. If you can, to anonymize yourself when you walk around and you're paying with either tap to pay, which I'm guilty of doing because it's convenient, or you're using your credit card or your ATM card. You're leaving that trail again. Where have you been? What are you purchasing? So in your daily travels, it helps build a profile of you. Switch now to cash or prepaid cards. And I get it. Sometimes cash is inconvenient to carry, but that'll help you limit your spending too if you're using cash all the time. I know, Terry, you're using cash quite a bit.
Yeah,
when we go do.
I went to a hotel in Boise or Napa out there one night. I used Hilton, and it was one of the cheaper ones. And it was interesting because they don't accept cash.
They don't accept cash.
I wanted to buy a Coke, and I had to use either put it on my charge room, or use a charge card. I said, well, I've got cash. Why can't I do that? It's only $1.50, And they said, we don't take cash here. So I'm wondering if that's even legal at this point in time. So that was interesting.
That is interesting because cash is valid for all debts, public and private.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either.
So, switch to your prepaids. You can get vanilla Visa cards, I guess, or whatever, some kind of and you load them up. You can go to a store, you can load that card up for cash, and I don't think that they have to know who you are or do anything. Same thing with with your burner phone. You could go to like T-Mobile, or you go to someplace and you buy a SIM chip, you could get it reloaded for cash. You pay cash to get that reloaded at a place nowhere near where you do business and where you live. Crypto and digital wallets. Load funds into non-custodial wallets like Electrum or Monero for privacy coins, and use them for peer-to-peer payments, just like apps, like wallets. For physical cards, get anonymous debit cards from offshore providers or gift cards bought with cash. Avoid linking your phone's NFC. Use a separate RFID blocking wallet. Okay, that's good advice. A separate RFID blocking wallet. Pattern disruption. Don't use the same card for the same purchases. Rotate your cards for groceries, for example. Pay cash for sensitive items. I would say if you're going to go to the gun store and you're going to buy, even though, hey, perfectly legal, you're going to go buy some ammo. Maybe you use cash for that, and don't let them put in, hey, Bob came in and bought ammo. I know that the stores like to do that. They want their loyalty rewards and all their crap to track you with. I would say, no, it's cash, or you go to a store that you normally don't go to, and you buy that stuff if you want to keep it on the down low. Using cash for sensitive items. Use loyalty programs sparingly or under an alias. If you're traveling, use travel-specific cards to compartmentalize. If I do that with my credit cards. If I'm traveling, I've got 2 credit cards that I don't use for anything else other than travel expenses. And I think a lot of people do that. General digital signature reduction. Avoid linking patterns. Randomize your daily routines. Vary your commute times, your routes, app logins, and online activity. Use cover traffic. Send benign text or posts at irregular intervals to mask your real communications. Tools like Tor browsers for web access to hide your IP. Pair with a no-log VPN. No metadata leakage habits. Strip XFID from photos before sharing on apps there's an app called Scrambled XFID. Use encrypted cloud alternatives like Proton Mail instead of Google. Well, I use Google for some things, and I use my WHP Motorsports at Gmail, and I don't care who knows it. I use that for all the junk mail. If I go onto a website or I have to give somebody an email, I give them that email, and about once a week, I just go in and I just delete everything out of it. It's just empty. I don't care. I never read it. I never scan it. It means absolutely nothing to me. And I don't use it to send anybody anything. Let's see. Physical and behavioral blending, hiding in plain sight. The surveillance isn't just digital. There's all the cameras, look how many camera angles from that Renee Good ice shooting about a week ago. How many camera angles surfaced after that happened? There was 2. There was the one from the rear and the one from somebody's porch that initially showed up. that kind of gave us a good picture of what happened. But then there was a doorbell cam across the street. There was another guy from somewhere else that had some video, and then the ICE agent, his personal cell phone video. Facial recognition, man, go almost anywhere now, and there's facial recognition in on the cameras in casinos. Go downtown to any major city, and most of the what is that? What is that called? Flock cameras. It is insidious, guys. There are cameras all over cities that are tied in with each other with facial recognition and all kinds of crap. And then there's the human observers, the spooks. You want to just dress generically, i.e., common brands and colors for your area. We've talked about this before. Avoid distinctive items. One distinctive item kind of that I wear is a cowboy hat. And it is and it isn't. What's your thought about that, Terry?
We, you know, when you're getting a driver's license in Idaho, you can't wear a hat when they take your picture. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And so I can't remember if they do that on the CCW permits or not, but they do that with that because they said they have the facial recognition stuff. So yeah,
Yep.
I also wear a hat. I used to wear a hat, cowboy hat all the time, but in Idaho here, it always, the wind blows and it doesn't want to stay on my head. So I wear a cowboy, or, a cap. So yeah, I think actually wearing a hat or a cap or something also hides your face a little bit. So that's a good thing, not to be recognized as quick if you're on camera.
Yeah, it could. It could. Couple of comments here on Rumble. Let's see. Odd. Shadow Bear says that. Well, that was back to your comment about being able to pay cash at a hotel. He's regularly used cash at hotels, including Hilton brands, for snacks and stuff. And that the flock cameras keep popping up everywhere. From Cyrene, they've detected 3 flock cameras in a tiny little town in a Lowe's parking lot. Wow. And then Shadow Bears responded that he's noticed flock cameras in almost every Lowe's parking lot. So, and I'm not a Lowe's shopper. I go to Home Depot. They probably have them too. They clearly must have a contract with the flock cameras. Let's see. Start small. We're talking about doing things right now to avoid or to minimize your signature. Start small. Audit your footprint with tools like Exodus Privacy, it scans apps for trackers, or personal data export from your providers. Test in low stakes scenarios. Probably pretty good. There's no perfect solution. Let's see. Covert communications. We're going to hide. We want to hide the existence of the communication versus encrypting the communication. That is probably your best bet. Remember, in a surveillance state, there is mass collection. There's already mass collection of metadata, the content, AI analysis, always on devices, the TVs and everything that have a little always on Siri. Oh yeah, look, It's listening to me. So let's just turn you off. We'll put you into airplane mode. So you're not, hey Siri, it still is listening. It's still listening in airplane mode. What do you think about that, friends? Yeah. Okay. So into the RFID bag, that one will go. Let's see. All right, let's get into one-time pads here. And for this, I'm going to bring up this screen over here. One-time pads. We'll take a quick look at this, and let me bring this up so you guys can see it. So one-time pads combines plain text with a truly random key of exactly the same length using reversible operation, most commonly bitwise XOR or binary data. The encryption, ciphertext equals plain text plus a key. How it works. Say you want to send the message hello. You're going to convert it to numbers. H equals 7, E 4, L 11, L 11, O 14. Because there are, 26? Is it 26 letters in the alphabet? And then you want to add modulo. It's a 26 thing here. So now you're gonna say H plus X equals 7 plus 23 equals 30. Then minus I guess it's minus the 26 equals 4. So that would be E. And I don't know how that works. I'm sorry. I'm lost. But anyway, then on the other side, the person, you do the one-time pad, it gets you EQNVZ. And you subtract the 26 or you add the modular inverse. The receiver subtracts the same key numbers. So you've got to have this set up ahead of time. Let me run over here. One-time pad. Here is a one-time pad generator. I'm going to move that over here because I don't need to look at that. This is box and tricks. And let me move you over, reduce that so you guys could see that. A one-time pad cipher. So here's how this, you type your plain text and you go, this is K6UDA. Enter a stream. Please enter a stream key from the selected alphabet. I have no idea. I'm just typing some. Whoop, I don't even want a K in there. All right. So there's your ciphertext. So that's kind of cool. So this would be your ciphertext. Nobody will have that unless you have this key. If you have the key, you would be able to then decipher this here. So interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's come back over here. So it is the one-time pad is so far unbreakable. Nobody has been able to decipher that. Now, instead of just sending that message, that ciphertext to somebody, you could mask that in a book in order to make the entire thing. If I sent you a message with that ciphertext in it, MAQ KW space UXYNE. If I just sent that to you, say in a text, you would know, or the government would know that there is something going on there. That's something that isn't normal. It's not. It doesn't blend into the noise. But if I had that written into a book or a manuscript, and we knew that on page 19 of this whatever document, instructions on how to use a camera. And on page 19 at paragraph 3, you're going to have this ciphertext inserted in there. Well, now, unless they know exactly what to look for and where to look, now that entire communication goes away. Let's see. There are modern binary one-time pads that you can use. And I'm going to go over here. I know Terry just walked away, so I'll run over here. And we'll do that one. Whoop, hang on. And I don't need this. Don't need that. And then we'll come back. Come back to Terry when he gets back. Oop. Oh, and there's Terry. Why we don't use one-time pads for everything, despite, and welcome back, Terry.
Thank you.
Publish you back. Despite being theoretically perfect, one-time pads are impractical in most cases. Key distribution is a problem. You need a secure way to share a key as long as every future message you'll ever send. It's often impossible without already having some secure communications. The key storage and management. Gigabytes of truly random key material per message. No forward secrecy or rekeying without a physical exchange. If the key is never reused even once, patterns emerge and it can be broken. So if the key is ever reused, that it can be broken. Modern cryptography uses stream ciphers There's a bunch of programs that they list. Hybrid programs that approximate one-time pads like security with much smaller keys, but they rely on the difficulty of breaking the underlying primitive, non-perfect information. So anyway, they are a pain to use. And I would use that for very, very critical information, short messages, I would say. And I need to get rid of a few things. Core, tactical, and let's see. Tactical considerations, doing the zero radio, going radio silent. We're using covert, low-tech methods of passing communications. Physical dead drops, cache spots with marking and rotation. So, hey, you're going to pick something up at this corner under a mailbox or under a garbage can or behind a tree, under a rock, whatever. Timing-based synchronization, spy stuff. We're going to pass this off secretly while we are sitting at a park bench or whatever, who knows. Everybody's going to meet in public, and you're going to do the super spy shit. Let's see, low signature digital channels. Burner everything. Burner phones, burner accounts and devices, strict compartmentalization. So you don't want to use any, it's like having separate identities for separate things. You don't want anything to cross-contaminate each other. Stenographic tools and techniques. You want to hide data in innocuous files. Really, really easy way to do it is you type out a message and in plain text and convert it over, or you don't even convert it. You name it something MP3. I love you MP3, and you stick it on a disc with a bunch of other songs. And chances are you'll get that passed through with minimal hassle, something like that. And then the other person has to know that the song I love you means this is a text message, or this is a covert message that you would have to physically open that up with another way other than clicking on it on a computer or something. Covert channels. Spotify comments on videos, edits in a shared doc. Oh yeah. So you could comment on a video about shampooing your cat, and in the comments you could put some kind of a secret thing. Write a little thing. Every fourth word or every third word means something, and you take all that and put that together, but it's really innocuous. Other things, and I'm gonna run over here real quick. Let me run over here.
I really can't imagine us ever getting to the place where we have to do that. That sounds more like spy stuff than just practical stuff that we have to live with.
It really is, huh? It's kind of crazy. Um,
I was watching this mystery movie the other day with my wife, and they found this code stuff where, they have a certain book, and then they will give you numbers where it's, you already know it's this book, but it's on page 5, line 6, word 8. And that's you go and you look it up and you write that down and that word, then you go to the next one. So it's like a cipher thing. And
mhm.
in the movie, that's a lot of fun, but in real life, I don't know how practical that would be unless you're a spy. And
You
so
know, I agree. It's kind of crazy, and I don't see this as being an everyday thing. But who knows what we may have to get down to. Depending upon what happens. There's a lot of talk right now about about us losing the midterm elections. I'm sure you've seen it. And when if you lose the midterm elections, nothing will get done. And if you lose 2028, especially to a guy like Gavin Newsom, it'll be a year and things will get so bad. They will literally try to lock us into FEMA camps. So I think a lot of things are gonna depend on us being covert about it.
I
And if
think
we
we'll
already
start.
know how to do it.
I think we'll
So
start
here's
seeing. I think we'll start seeing Civil War type of behavior before we get to the point where any of us will go willingly to FEMA camps.
that's probably true. Let me go back to live here. Yeah, here is secure messaging. This is not for iOS, but this is to send secure disappearing messages anywhere. Here's another one. Peer-to-peer social network and Manyverse. So that's peer-to-peer. It's not hitting centralized servers. That is it is pretty much on its own. And I just wanted to kind of show you guys that. Run back over here. Let's see. Let's see. Let me get back into my Fearless Rosen in USA. Court cases from the Supreme Court that may save your life in 2026. I will post a link in the comments rather than in the chat. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Oh, anti-forensic habits to prevent leakage. You want to sanitize metadata before sharing files. Use tools like XIF, EXIF tool. It's a command line prompt. MAT2 toolkit or other apps to scramble XIF or to remove your XIF from images. All the location sharing data, hey, it was taken with an iPhone at this rate, and at this location. You want to scrub all that before you share any files. All files have metadata. You write a text, a plain text document, and it has things built into it about the computer that it was made on, about if that computer is registered to a person, that's in there. There's a lot of stuff that goes into every computer file. You want to disable automatic metadata generation. Turn off your last access time updates on your file system in the Windows registry. That is a tweak called NTSF Disable Last Access Update, and you want that to equal 1. Or mount partitions read only when possible. Use air-gapped or virtualized environments. Handle sensitive files on machines that have never been and are never connected to the internet. And so those files that hit that machine can never be discovered outside of the or on the internet, even if everything else has been compromised and they're looking at it. Let's see.
One thing that people do that I think we need not to is keep our passwords in a file in our our devices. Like I used to have all my passwords on my computer so I could go to them and get one if I needed to. And so what I did was I typed them all up, put them, ran a copy off of them, and deleted everything on the iPads. And so the only place where my passwords are now are on a piece of paper in my safe, so that
So
they can never get them
here's
out.
here's a problem with that theory. Number one, practically, there's a lot of websites require you to change your password on a semi-regular basis. So now you're back to, I got to change my password. I've got to go get this file out of the safe and then cross-reference that. Number two, nothing is truly deleted off your computer until you have rewritten it.
Right. So what I do, Bob, and it may not be the greatest, but at least it works. But I have a jump drive. Well, they'll say me. So I put it in, and so I type everything onto that for the passwords. So nothing is on the computer. So if I go to add new passwords or change them, I don't go onto the my computer. Well, I go on the computer, but I go straight to the stick and save it on the stick. And so maybe
Yeah, you
that's not.
save it on the stick, but it's still on the computer. It's still there is a working cache, and that working cache, I when I was in investigations, I did the high tech investigations, and I used to clone hard drives. And when we were working with the hackers or we're working on a hacker's machine, they've got things set up. The only way to truly do it is to wipe the disk or to rewrite over those partitions. So if you can know where the little piece of information is stored on that computer, and then internet guy on Rumble is a treasure trove of information. Huh. Wow. If you could find out where that information is written, and then you delete it off your machine, and then you rewrite something else on top of it, now it is truly gone. But even for that, there are tools that can bring some stuff back 2 and 3 times in there. It's I mean, it can be very, very scary. And if the government really wants to if the government really wants that information, unless you are super, super careful and you've got your ducks in a row and you are 100% following all of this stuff, they'll figure stuff out. Maybe not all of it, but they'll get some of it. Avoid linking patterns, behavioral and traffic analysis. Linking patterns, so-called behavioral footprints or traffic analysis, occur when repeated actions create detectable signatures. Timing of logins and posts, message burst length, communication frequency, response delays, typing cadence, choice of platforms. Typing cadence, guys, that's something you would think that's on my device only, and the speed that I type is the speed that I type. But now, if they have installed something like a keylogger on your computer, they could tell who's typing based on either like who's logged in, or if there's two people in a house, you both use the same computer and there's a keylogger on there, and you could detect in real time the key presses. If somebody's typing a letter, Terry, if you're typing a letter and you type 4 words a minute and your wife types 30 words a minute, if I'm watching your computer with a keylogger on it, I will be able to tell just by how many words are getting typed per minute who's using that computer.
And by the way, I type 50 words a minute, so you're going to have to change that.
Okay, well, I have no idea how fast can I type with 2 fingers? Because that's how fast I type. How do you check for a keylogger? Man, I used to have that information, and I don't right now. And they've changed over the years. I haven't been in that game for many, many years. So I really, I mean, that would be something. Ask AI. Go to like Grok or something and say, how do I check for a keylogger on my computer system? Randomizing timing, don't always message at the same time of day, the same day of the week, or the intervals. Vary communication styles. Change your wording, your emoji use, abbreviations, sentence length. Rotate your infrastructure. Change devices, accounts, SIMs, VPNs. These are all just, nobody except the most underground are going to do all of this. And if you're doing all of this, man, you're a CIA spook, more than likely. But some of these things can be, especially if you've got things, let's just say if 1942 Nazi Germany had today's infrastructure and today's technology, how would you hide the Jews? How would you move people out of a city or out of the country without being detected? Those are the real things. How do you hide your family if your family is considered a threat, or if you're considered a threat and you want to hide your family or whatever? Is there any software that blocks keyloggers from Fearless Rosen? No, not that I know of. If it's on, it's like a virus. If it's on there, it's on there. But it's not. Well, there might be. There might be now. Not going to say never.
Bob,
Um,
Bob, I can really see the benefit of using radio rather than anything with the computer, because on the radio, we could go to a frequency that nobody ever finds, and unless somehow they have a way to track everything that you do.
well, the government. Speaking of radio, we'll get to let's get into radio. Well, first of all, here I was doing some research, and I'm like, okay, is it possible to incorporate like a POC link type radio into your plan? The pros for using like a POC link radio is you've got instant group PTT. So one thing, you hit the button once and it goes out. It is a hybrid capability in dual modes. You could switch to direct analog mode, radio to radio, line of sight. During network outages, blackouts, or intentional jamming or shutdowns, it uses all different carriers. So you're not locked into one carrier. It just bounces off the cell phone towers. And if it's not connected in any way with your cell phone, i.e., that radio traveling with you from tower to tower, it makes it harder to find. It has better signal priority because it's multi-carrier. It has a deniable appearance. It looks like a stupid little walkie-talkie. It's obviously not a smartphone, and it can blend in construction, security, outdoor settings, or family contexts. At an amusement park, at a park, whatever, with FRS radios, which are just a mass of them. It is on the risks. It is cellular dependent, and it does have its own tracking. So just like cell phones, it can be tracked from cell tower triangulation, timing, duration, group patterns, if there are any group patterns. Shadow Bear says, ideally, you'd use a DMR radio with encryption, using the lowest power possible on an obscure frequency and a directional antenna, but that would be illegal. But then again, at that point, who kind of cares? And yes, if you're using DMR or D-Star Fusion, whatever, point to point, no repeaters, no internet, no nothing. That is another way of doing it. But if they're scanning for RFID, the RF is still there in the air. It's still floating through the air. The POC radios, it just shows up as more blended in cell phone traffic on the cell phone towers, unless they're looking for it. Let's see. GPS and app tracking. The built-in GPS shares the location within the groups. It can be toggled off, but the app and the server see it unless it's fully disabled. Anonymous SIMs help, but carriers still log connection data. Server-side risk. Voice and data routes through central POC platform. Even with end-to-end encryption, claims the provider could be compelled to log or backdoor, and metadata is almost certainly retained. Regular PTT bursts from a small group create detectable behavioral signatures, especially if it's correlated with physical movements or events. Something to keep. That's the same thing with RF. Something to keep in mind. There's no true air gapped low signature mode with the POC radios. Now, to use that technology in conjunction with ham, GMRS, or CB RF radios, we all know what radios we're running. I really recommend and highly support the use of digital voice radios, DMR, D-Star, and Fusion for end-to-end, not encryption, but you can encrypt DMR with the, but on the ham bands, yep, it is a gray area. It's illegal. But you can do it. It can be done. So, but that's not making the communication itself disappear. That is encrypting it. Even if you're using, say, a fusion radio, and Terry and I are doing C4FM between the two of us on an obscure frequency, all that a government actor would need is find the frequency that we're running on, figure out which mode we're using, and apply the translation to that. But it is something. It's a little bit more now. Doing things like using stubby antennas that will cut your RF signature down, using ultra low power on your setups if you can. Covert setups if you have wire antennas hidden in clothing or backpacks. Using stealthy end-fed half waves that are disguised as fence line or laundry lines, directional antennas, small Yagis that are pointed away from known monitoring sites to limit your broadcast detection. Frequency selection. Scan for quiet channels to avoid interference or jamming. Use ham simplex, radio to radio, no repeaters. FRS channels, 1 through 7, low power for crowded for deniability. Remember, you can use other means of encryption. You can use voice encryption.
Bob, you're going to have to be pretty much on their watch list. Yeah, I mean, you have to be a pretty important bad guy, one that they really want to find for them to be able to have the personnel to do everything you just mentioned, because those are all good. I mean, like you said, just using your digital and going to a frequency that's never used, hardly used. Uh, by the time they find you, you've already said what you're going to say, and you're gone. But so, I mean, you're gonna have to be a pretty bad guy for that.
Well, let's take January 6th players, for instance. I mean, I know a lot of them probably weren't thinking that the government was going to use their cell phones to track them there
Yeah.
and then track their movements and use their own technology against them.
But I bet if they would have had handhelds and they were on a frequency that just you and I had, I'll meet you right here, they wouldn't have been traced and have your
Yeah.
phone at home.
Yep.
Because, I mean, for them, number one, it's not like a cell phone where they're just tagging you. They can't just tag you because you have a handheld. You're going to have to be using it, and they're going to have to know where you're at, and they're going to have, I mean, it's almost impossible, I would imagine. I'm sure it's not impossible, but I mean, think about that. And they're going to have to know, okay, I'm coming after Bob. I'm coming after Terry. What can I find out there?
Well, yeah, they kind of have to know who they're going after, but I'm saying they're collecting all this information on a mass scale, like 300 million of us. They're collecting the information right now. If we can use some of the stuff up at the top of the presentation, just to lower the signature that you're putting out right now, and not all the time, but we're gonna lower the signature. Let's just say every day we're gonna start turning off the cell phone. So, or we're not gonna have it, or we're gonna put it in a Faraday bag as we start running around town. And maybe you'll open it up and you'll turn it on, check for messages every
Yeah.
hour, 2 hours,
Well, especially
instead
you,
of
because you're a real troublemaker, so I can understand them coming after you, not me.
I'm absolutely, absolutely. Why would we want to do all this stuff? Let's just say we want secure lines of bartering. And I'm just saying, let's just suppose we've gone to this digital dollar. Let's suppose, and Terry, I'm going to bring it into your realm, that we're now in the area of the mark of the beast, and everybody will take the mark, or you're not going to be able to, or let's just say they've done away with cash for whatever reason. That we've gone to the digital dollar now, and now they say you're going to take the mark, or you're not going to be able to buy and sell. That sound familiar? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Revelation chapter 13, and we are really lined up for that. Um, they probably right now, even though we probably don't know all of it, have everything necessary to be able to accomplish that. Their biggest thing is trying to get everybody in the world digitized in the frames, the computer frames that they have, so that they know your mark, your number, your phone number, all that stuff, so that when you're in your credit cards, so that when that does happen, and that's not going to happen until the middle of the tribulation, but we're going to see it set up and being used before the middle of the tribulation. Now, according to what I believe in the teaching I've done, the true believers are going to be raptured away before that happens. Now, there are those that believe that Christians are going to stick through the tribulation. I don't believe that at all. I don't think the scriptures even come near saying that. But meanwhile, they're going to be monitoring all that, and
Yeah.
we have it all. It's all set. It's like I said, the biggest thing is them getting every name and every person in the computers. So
And
that's the
I
big thing.
would say, I would go so far as to say that once they do that and they start marking you, or, we get the social credit scores, and they say, well, you know what? You don't subscribe to our theory. So you can't go shopping at Safeway anymore. Or you can't go shopping at government approved grocery stores. But you still need you still got to eat. You still got to get some fresh groceries every once in a while. So you want to set up a covert bartering system, and you're going to need covert ways to meet up to do these bartering things. And you want it to be secure. You want it to be as secure as you can. You want to transport goods, and you got to move items or people. you can equip your drivers with GMRS handhelds because they're short range. You can use CB for long haul stuff. You monitor the trucker channels. Trucker channels are full of all kinds of weird crap, but you could get small signals in there. You could get small covert signals. Other things like, I don't know where mine went. Meshtastic. Meshtastic is super decentralized. And yes, it uses a Meshtastic app on your phone, but there's devices that have their own screen and their own way of communicating all by themselves. It doesn't use the internet. It uses it creates its own intranet, and it's just mesh networking. Whoever can receive it receives it and can pass it along. And they even have an encrypted channels within the Meshtastic universe.
And what are those things cost? They're like $400 to get some of those, aren't they?
No, like $20. I've got a little Meshtastic device somewhere around here. I don't know where it went, to be honest.
But
Must have dropped it or something. So I got one that's kind of lost right now. And I'm looking around trying to see if I see it. I don't see it. It's usually right here.
you know, we are coming to a place with the digital, and I know that Trump uh, discouraged that for the U.S., but it's going to happen eventually. It's flat going to happen, whether it's while he's still in office or right after he leaves office. It's going to happen to where they begin to use digital. They're already using or getting ready for it, and in some places are already using it over in Europe. And so and they make it clear you either use it or you don't have money basically. It's not
Yeah.
available, and so that's happening in certain places. But we got to see the whole picture too. I mean, right now the world's on fire. I mean, every place you look, it's on fire. It's here in America. It's overseas. It's Iran. Russia, Ukraine, all that. It's just everywhere. And I've never seen it like this to where the world's basically on fire. And I'm getting up there in age, so I've been around for a while. So
Yeah. Well,
I'm still under 60 though, so I can't get into DNB. But uh, things it's getting worse, and I think the people that are still with us and are watching need to understand that going back to normal, going back to a little bit when you were younger and you could really enjoy life and you were free. That's gone and it's not coming back. And so we're headed towards a conclusion in this world. I know that's for some people that's not interesting to hear. And maybe we can set up a time where I can get into some of this stuff a little bit more detailed and what's happening and what's going to happen and how quick it's probably going to happen. But
and if you guys want to see that, if you guys want Terry I'll tell you what, man, he's been a pastor for how many years?
over 40.
Longer than I've been alive. and and he's been studying Revelations and end times for that long. So he really, really knows his stuff. If you guys want to see him talk more about that, leave it in the comments, leave it in the chat, and we'll put it together. And he's going to make it relevant to what's going on today, relevant to our entire prepping community.
You just made a statement there that's really good, and that is, it's one thing when, for example, if I teach on end times, just basically worldwide what's happening and da 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 da. But it's another thing when you start looking at what's happening and how it's going to affect us personally, and how can we prepare for that, not just right now we watch this that happening and that happening and all these things, but it's kind of hard to prepare for what's going on in Ukraine. But when we see what's going on with, like, for example, in Iran, and how that is going to affect us personally, it is something that we should be preparing for,
Yeah.
and so we could prepare for one thing, and that one thing we're preparing for never happened, or not show up the way we think it's going to, or we can prepare for things that are actually lining up right now, getting ready to happen, and be a little bit more aware of that.
Yeah. Miko Wolf on YouTube asks a good question. Uh, you don't want to get the chip put in your hand, so or you won't be able to buy and sell. What will you do then? Well, that's when this whole barter thing is going to come into effect, and when we got to start really being mindful of how we're communicating, who we're communicating with, because I could see the day where it would become illegal for your neighbor to give you, if you don't have the chip or the mark, it would be illegal, say, for your neighbor or your family member to give you a loaf of bread or eggs or milk or whatever, because you've been barred from commerce, and they'll consider that commerce. Let's talk a little bit about Meshtastic. I have one up on a flagpole outside of Studio A. It cost me about $50 to build this. It's on its own little solar charger, and it's been running now for about 6 months. And I've showed it to you guys before, and it's gone. It is. It is missing, MIA right now. I'm gonna have to find it after the show. It is a little tiny transmitter, and it goes along, say, with my phone with the Meshtastic app. And here, let's just see if it's still on. Meshtastic is connecting, and yeah, see, it's still reading my little Meshtastic that's here. And I've got 24 notifications of Meshtastic stuff going on. There's people in Boise that are talking, Salt Lake. My little Meshtastic is down to 47% battery power. So I've got to find that thing in the next day or so. It's around. It's in here. It's got to be in this room. Otherwise, or somewhere in the house. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to see it. Encryption. Meshtastic, because it's not regulated, uses AES 256 for private messaging with proper per channel keys and improved key exchange. If you generate fresh keys, not vendor cloned ones from old firmware, content is strongly encrypted. Passive interception yields gibberish without the key. And the key is passed from device to device in person. It has to be done in person, where these things are within very close proximity of each other. Excuse me. Vulnerabilities Duplicated keys in 2025 firmware allows decryption if keys are collided. Metadata linkage, node IDs, hop counts, timestamps, and rough locations via signal strength, or if GPS is shared, leaked even if encrypted. So the metadata is still there and kind of open. Can it be used like a radio for covert ops? Yes. It's text messages only, very low airtime. It's hard to direction find in real time. There's no voice, no accent, no voice print, no accidental clear text slips. Position sharing is optional if you've got the GPS on. Useful for rendezvous without voice. Offline mesh, no cell towers, no metadata to carriers. Cheap and disposable nodes, 20 to 50 bucks. Best practices for higher OPSEC, use private encrypted channels, not the default public channel. Disable unnecessary beacons or telemetry. Low power preset. Using short hops, reduce the range and signature. Rotate channel keys periodically. Avoid MMQT or MQTT internet gateways. We have in the Magic Valley where we've got an internet gateway, and we're getting out to all over. Well, we're getting out all the way to Boise. And we're getting out to Salt Lake City, and there's a couple of internet hops that some of those things are taking if you're using that. Physical security, Faraday when idled, it destroy if it's compromised. Limitations versus classic radio, it's slower than voice and real time. Range trade-offs. Long range presets sacrifice speed, increase airtime, making it easier to spot. No analog fallback, like some of the hybrid radios or the POC radios. It's not detectable. Not detectable in a, hang on here. All right. So Terry's got to take off, and I'm about done. So, Terry, thanks for joining. Thanks for your input on this. And I will talk to you probably tomorrow. So,
Hey, we'll see you later.
Okay. We'll see you.
Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all.
All right. So anyway, that's about it. Now we'll get into some of the chat in here. Let me go to here. Holy crap, I can't see anything. Let me close that window. Whoop. Let me go to here. Oh no. There it is. All right, I'm going to put the chat up here in this one so everybody could see it. And I'll bring this one up. Come on. I'll bring this one over here and put that in. Grab it. Come on. There we go. All right, now we can all see the chat. Does anybody have anything else? Learn to always live like the Amish. Yeah, I mean, if you could work that out that you live like the Amish. Um, hey, more power to you. That ain't gonna be me. I just know it. Um, let's see. I think we're about out of. What is the best VPN? Fearless Rosen USA. I'm using Surfshark. I like it because it's easy on, easy off. It does about 60 to 80% of what I want it to use, what I want it to do. I have thought about trying one of these things like Cloaked and some of these other ones, and I just haven't gotten around to it. It costs a lot of money to get in. Ukraine is cashless. In Sweden, people have accepted chips in their hands. Yeah, that's horrible. That's from Cyrene. That's bad, guys. I mean, we're headed that way, and we need to have a fallback. I'm hoping that I can that I could build that community, that trading community, the barter community, that the trust here in my community, that I would still be able to thrive and survive if that happens. When it gets to that point, and it will get to that point. I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that I wouldn't be around after a rapture to experience that. But if I am, I deal with it as long as I'm alive. Don't know what else. Shadow Bear says I use Surfshark. Also, it's cheap and easy. When the current subscription expires, I'll probably switch to Proton VPN since I'm already paying for it with my email subscription. Yeah, that's. Let me post that up into the chat. And that's from Shadow Bear. That ain't from me. Let's see. I got nothing else. Man, we've been on for a while. A lot of information. I'm gonna boil this down to something, and I'm gonna post this up on the S3 Films website. You'll be able to get all my show notes and everything for this, because it's fairly involved, and I didn't get through a quarter of the information that's in here. So I will post it up. You guys can take a look at it, do what you want with it. Government could take it and use it against me, I guess. Whatever. Does anybody have any final parting words, comments, anything? Okay. All right. If not, I guess we're gonna go ahead and say 7-3. We'll be back, I'm hoping, next week. Let me see let me pull up my calendar here, just so I know. Yeah, next week I do have starts at 11, so yeah. I've got a Jeep thing going next week. Man, if you guys haven't already hit the thumbs up, I put a lot of work into these things every week, and it would sure be nice if you guys would give it a thumbs up. Just let me know you're out there. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate all the interaction from you guys during the show. Thank you so, so much. And I will see y'all next week. I'm gonna let everything kind of catch up before I end this, and then we'll be out of here. I'm gonna run over to here, and what do we have? 27 people still in there. Got 12 thumbs up on Rumble. What do we got on only one thumbs up on YouTube? That's crazy. That's crazy, people. Come on. Okay. I don't want to get into that vicious feedback. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I will see you next week. 7-3.